Hey and welcome to the Daily Manchester United News show. Let's begin with our daily news. Man United reach agreement to sell Dean Henderson to Crystal Palace. Manchester United have reached an agreement with the Crystal Palace for the permanent sale of Dean Henderson, according to reputed journalist Fabrizio Romano. Henderson's future has been constantly speculated throughout the summer, and the Red Devils have finally agreed to sanction his departure on a permanent basis. A fee of £20 million with add-ons has been finalized with the Eagles. The South London outfit have also accepted to include a sell-on clause as part of the transfer deal. The United graduate will undergo a medical with Roy Hodgson's side today. The Red Devils are expected to sign Fenerbahce's Altay Bayındır as his replacement soon. The 26-year-old spent the previous campaign on loan with Nottingham Forest, and he made it clear that he wanted regular playing time during the prime of his career. Henderson was an unused substitute in United's first three Premier League games this season, but it was always anticipated that he would leave the club before the deadline. Nottingham Forest were much fancied to re-sign him, but they cooled their interest after landing Matt Turner. Henderson now has the opportunity to play for another club. Palace currently have Sam Johnston as their number one, but Henderson is likely to replace him between the sticks. Johnston could make the move to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Meanwhile, Bayender is set to become Andre Onana's deputy at United. The goalkeeper has already travelled to Manchester to complete the main part of his medical. His arrival could be announced by the Red Devils as soon as Henderson heads for the exit door. The 25-year-old should be a good buy for United. He is a modern goalkeeper, similar to Onana, and has impressed with his distribution and sweeper-keeper skills. Donny van de Beek transfer. Other clubs could enter the race as Real Sociedad deal hits his snag due to loan condition. Managing successful and lucrative outgoings has been an issue for Manchester United this summer transfer window, and that is set to continue. Fabrizio Romano reports that Real Sociedad's deal for Donny van de Beek is no closer to an agreement. That's because the La Liga club can only offer to take him on loan, with United preferring to cut ties permanently. However, in a bit of respite, the report goes on to say that other clubs could enter the race because United are totally open to moving him on. In such a scenario, a bidding war could land the club an unexpected windfall for the Dutchman, whose career never truly took off at Old Trafford. Not fancied by multiple managers since his arrival, Erik ten Hag's tenure was expected to be fruitful for him. The manager had previously managed Van de Beek to his best ever season in professional football in 2019, when he even made the Ballon d'Or list. United bought him off the back of that season, and it has been downhill for him ever since. Ten Hag gave him some chances last season, but an ill-timed injury arguably drew the curtains on his United career for good. As the club tries to navigate financial fair play issues courtesy of the Glazers, the need of the hour is to sell some players to fund further arrivals. The club has already spent close to £180 million when accounting for Altay Bayındır impending arrival as the backup goalkeeper. The departure column has been less than ideal, with the Anthony Elanga sale to Nottingham Forest their biggest windfall at just £15 million. Van de Beek's transfer fee is also unlikely to surpass that amount, but the potential arrival of other interested parties could nudge the fee to Fred's levels. Erik ten Hag confirms Raphael Varane injury concern in Forest 1. Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag has revealed that Raphael Varane was substituted at the half-time interval against Nottingham Forest after some complaints. The Red Devils had a disastrous start against Forest at Old Trafford yesterday. They conceded 2 goals in the opening 4 minutes of the game. Speaking after the comeback win over Steve Cooper's side, Ten Hag revealed the reason why Victor Lindelof replaced Varane at the half interval. He told ManUnited.com, "He had complaints. We didn't want to risk him. We know we have Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof, good replacements, so we don't take the risk. But what the complaint is, and if it's really bad, we don't know. We have to wait." United had another slow start at Old Trafford, but they made amends with a terrific response. Fernandes and Rashford stepped up to the occasion. However, the club can't afford such starts in the future and need to buckle up at the back if they want to challenge for the Premier League title this term. It's unclear why Varane was substituted, as Ten Hag said. The £30 million rated star felt uncomfortable to continue, and the manager avoided taking a risk. It was the right decision, as the Frenchman has been injury prone during his career, and United can ill afford to lose him for an extended period of time. We should know more about Varane's concern in the next 24 hours. Hopefully, he will be available for next weekend's key game on the road to Arsenal. Bruno Fernandes delivers sublime display in terrific comeback win versus Forest. Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes delivered a sublime performance during the terrific 3-2 comeback win over Nottingham Forest in the Premier League on Saturday. The Red Devils made the worst possible start at Old Trafford as they conceded twice in the opening 4 minutes of the game. Christian Eriksen pulled one goal back in the 17th minute. Casemiro missed a golden opportunity to put United level before the break, but he made amends by scoring the equalizer in the 52nd minute. The goal was created by Fernandes' brilliance. The Portugal international played a sublime 1-2 with Marcus Rashford from a free kick before putting the ball on the plate for Casemiro to nod home from a couple of yards out. Fernandes clinched the game for United with the winning goal from the penalty spot in the 76th minute. The 28-year-old truly led by example as they secured a memorable victory at home. Aside from his goal contributions, he had a brilliant 107 touches with 55 passes and 6 long balls. He won 7 duels and 3 tackles. It was an exceptional display from the Portuguese. Of course, he was guilty of losing possession on 34 occasions in the game, but that did not matter in the end, as United came on top with a moral boosting win ahead of the Arsenal trip. United must improve their defensive record in order to compete for the Premier League title, but manager Erik Ten Hag should be delighted with the way they responded versus Forest. Man United handed boost in signing Jean-Claire Todibo as West Ham reopen Harry Maguire talks. Manchester United have been handed a boost in signing Nice defender Jean-Claire Todibo, with West Ham United reopening talks over a possible deal for Harry Maguire. The Red Devils reached a verbal agreement to sell their former captain to the Hammers earlier this month, but the £30 million transfer did not materialize in the end. The centre-back was prepared to accept a £70,000 pay cut on his current £190,000 a week wages, but he wanted a huge payoff from United to join the Hammers. The Red Devils offered him around £6 million, but that was not sufficient to convince him. As a result, the Hammers decided to sign Mavropanos from Stuttgart, but the Sun claim that they have reopened talks over a late deal for Maguire. David Moyes' side are prepared to pay a little more to compensate for the payoff, and it remains to be seen whether Maguire will be persuaded to make the move. The Red Devils were initially interested in signing Benjamin Pavard from Bayern München. They planned to enter formal negotiations but ended their pursuit due to Maguire's decision. Inter Milan have now reached a verbal agreement with the German champions to sign the World Cup winner, but a transfer depends on whether Bayern can find a replacement. In our view, United are unlikely to change Pavard's mind and should rather focus on Todibo. The former Barcelona man has already spoken with Ten Hag this summer. The Frenchman is said to be excited by the prospect of joining a prestigious club like United. Nice reportedly value Todibo in the region of €40 million, and the Red Devils could easily afford him if Maguire is convinced to head for the exit door in the coming days. Manchester United eyeing shock loan swoop for Chelsea's Marco Correa. United currently are without an experienced specialist left-back with the Real Malaysia steel sidelined since pre-season, while Brandon Williams was sent out on loan to Championship side Ipswich Town. Young academy graduate Alvaro Fernandes, who was on the bench against Forest, is still considered raw and was close to sealing a loan move to Granada in La Liga. That decision might still be reversed, but United are also looking at bringing someone in as temporary cover with Shaw set to be out until November. Now, transfer guru Fabrizio Romano has thrown current Chelsea star Marco Correa's hat into the ring. United are working with a limited budget this summer and hence cannot afford to do expensive permanent deals, and hence the conditions of a loan deal are being discussed between the clubs at the moment. Romano said, Manchester United made contact with Chelsea to ask about conditions of Marco Correa deal on potential loan. No bid or concrete talks yet. United looking for left back opportunity, but not too expensive. There are three candidates in the list. No decision has been made yet. The Spaniard really shone during his Brighton stint but has failed to hit the heights expected of him since his €65 million move to the Blues. He was also coveted by Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola, but the London side ultimately won the race for the Spanish defender. Romano also mentioned that the Red Devils also have other options that they are looking at. United obviously have major problems in defense and up top, so it will be interesting to see which player they ultimately choose to bring in before deadline day. Manchester United exploring a move for Tottenham Hotspur defender Sergio Reguilon. Manchester United are weighing up a move for Tottenham fullback Sergio Reguilon. United are currently grappling with an injury crisis, especially in the left back position. A report covered by the People's Person mentioned that Luke Shaw sustained a muscle injury that is expected to keep him out of action for a prolonged period. It was subsequently realized that the injury could be worse than originally thought, and there are genuine fears Shaw could be sidelined for months. Alongside the England international, his number two, Real Malaysia, is also recovering from a physical setback suffered just before United's pre-season tour of the United States. At the moment, 20-year-old Alvaro Fernandes is the only fit left back on the club's books. During United's 3-2 win against Nottingham Forest at Old Trafford, Diogo Dalot played on the left side of the defense and performed well. However, it's clear that Erik Ten Hag would prefer additional cover. According to Sky Sports journalist Lyle Thomas, the Red Devils have Reguilon on their transfer list. He said, Manchester United have looked at Sergio as an option for left back among others. Fulham also have looked at the player, but priority remains Castagna at the moment. He can leave Tottenham before the deadline. Two of the other options United are reportedly considering are free agent Ryan Bertrand and Chelsea's Marco Correa, as we mentioned before. Defining week for Manchester United, with door wide open for Erik Ten Hag to sign a special £25.7 million. The Dutchman clearly needs one more addition if his United side are to challenge for the Premier League title, a top-class defensive midfielder. It's so obvious to see that Fiorentina midfielder Sofiane Amrabat is the man for the job at Old Trafford. He has the skill set that makes him perfectly suited to this United team and how Ten Hag sets up his side. The door is absolutely wide open for the United boss to bring the 27-year-old to the club this summer. According to Italian journalist Enzo, who was speaking to Labora Viola, Napoli definitely won't be signing Amrabat this summer because they cannot afford him. He claims that Fiorentina want €30 million for the midfielder. So what are United waiting for? I really don't understand why they haven't made a move to sign him already. He is a special player and would transform Ten Hag's side overnight, certainly from a defensive perspective. Emrabat is a tenacious tackler and has the energy and stamina needed to get around the pitch for the entire 90 minutes every single week. He provides a solid shield for his back four and has the recovery pace needed to cover any counter attacks. The Morocco international is incredibly mobile and athletic. He would be the perfect complement to Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes in the United midfield. The 27-year-old would provide more protection for the Brazilian. The 31-year-old has looked rather exposed over the past few games. For just £25.7 million, Manchester United should not think twice about signing Sofiane Amrabat this summer. He is literally the exact player that Ten Hag needs, and there won't be much better value out on the market than the Moroccan for just under £26 million. This week will be a defining one for United. If they sign the midfielder from Fiorentina, I think they will have every chance of challenging for the league title, but if not, it might just be another long and painful campaign. I will be uploading daily Manchester United news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.